let's talk Nigel Farage. He's got himself in hot water again today. Listen.
They're ordinary people. That's how people out there speak. That's how they feel.
Ordinary people,
they
Mr.
express
Farage, say
on
Islam
Facebook,
and Nazis are the same thing.
Facebook.
Islam, Nazis, they are the same thing.
People are allowed to have opinions. People are allowed to express views.
What do you make to that, Matt Goodwin?
I think Nigel Farage has a point, because over the last 20 years or so, we can all sense the national debate, the national conversation, the marketplace of ideas being whittled down so that it only reflects the values and the beliefs and the tastes of an elite minority in this country. If you question mass immigration, if you are critical of radical Islam, if you don't agree with woke ideology, if you want to express free speech and free expression, you are basically silenced or stigmatised as being somehow socially unacceptable. Everybody out there consensus, 70% of Brits say political correctness has gone too far. And I think Farage is just saying what a lot of people out there are thinking and feeling.
Is that fair, Bill?
Well, let me say, in place on the record, I have written extensively, lectured in favour of free speech and open debate as the best way of tackling extremism. I'm very much against what you would describe as cancel culture. But look at the comments that some of these candidates have made. You know, Islam and Nazis are the same thing. Britain should have been neutral on Hitler during the Second World War. Women shouldn't have access to the National Health Service. You know, they're entitled to their view, but if Farage and Reform want to be taken seriously, to be endorsing those kind of comments, I think is deplorable.
I think we also know from Labour's recent experience that sometimes you can attract candidates or even leaders who make some dubious, if not offensive, statements regarding, for example, Jews and the history and so on.
And then you boot them out. What's unacceptable is for Nigel Farage to shrug his shoulders as he did on LBC today and say, "What can I do? They're already on the ballot."
Just on that. I think, in fairness to Nigel Farage, what he's saying is that we now live in a national conversation debate where terms like far-right, hate, transphobia, Islamophobia, homophobia are all being expanded to basically demonise people who are expressing entirely acceptable, legitimate views about these issues, who want to say, hang on a minute, what about the role of women within radical interpretations of Islam? Hang on a minute, what about integrating newcomers and the sheer number of people we have coming to Britain? Or hang on a minute, should we really be teaching kids that a boy can become a girl and a girl can become a boy? Is this really what we are as a society? What makes people nervous, by the way, about the Labour Party and the kind of radical progressive parts of the Labour Party and the left is they can sense that the instinctive reaction on the left is not to allow the flourishing of ideas and debate in society, but it's to shut it down. That's what makes people nervous.
And not under Keir Starmer's leadership. And look,
Starmer tried to shut down the Brexit vote.
Hold on, Matthew. What you've said about Nigel Farage is not true. He wasn't saying those things today. He was actually saying that the three quotes that I read out were unacceptable, but there was nothing he could do about it. Now, you know, the guy's just taken over Reform. He ought to be in charge. And I think people expect from the leaders of parties that when candidates do intolerably overstep the mark, you do something about it.
I think a candidate who comes up and expresses something ridiculous or offensive, I suspect Reform will throw them out. But the bigger issue here is about...
That's not what Nigel Farage said today. He said they're on the ballot paper, and by implication, vote for them.
But because of electoral law, as you know, once you're on the ballot paper, you can't be removed, and you know that.
Then repudiate those three candidates. But he didn't do that.
The broader issue, though, Bill, as you know, the broader issue is there are millions of people out there who feel that they can't say things. I'll give you an example. Take the hate laws in Scotland, right? The hate law, the SNP basically was trying to say that people who express entirely acceptable, legitimate views, even within their own home, can be sanctioned and penalised by the state. Now, I would like to see the Labour Party say categorically also it doesn't agree with the way Sadiq Khan talks about the same notions of hate, that people who express criticism of migration can be seen as hateful figures. I don't think that's on.
What do you make to it all at home? Wayne says, can I just say, I love the videos and clips of the MPs fooling about. It makes me see them as real people, and it's brilliant, he says. Louise says, can I just say, in no world should Nigel Farage be in the running for number 10. He's not a politician, he's a celebrity, and his views, she says, are insulting.